Games are better when they make us think, but not when they tell us what to think.
Shall I deal with them?
Allow me.
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Are politics ruining games? Or could they be what makes a game worth playing? People should be able to interact with each other and see more than just what they hate. And video games are a perfect platform to encourage critical thinking through virtually manufactured lived experiences. I want politics in video games now more than ever, but I want political messaging to be open-ended, thought-provoking, and genuine. I've never seen anyone complaining about keeping politics out of Cyberpunk 2077. The Cyberpunk universe is one of the most politically driven narratives around, and the overarching view is undoubtedly as left-wing as it gets. At its core, Cyberpunk 2077 is a critique of unregulated capitalism and the unchecked power of megacorporations in Night City. Corporations function like sovereign states, complete with private armies, political influence and control over the media and law enforcement. Body, labour, memories and even souls can be bought, sold or even stolen. The wealthy live in sanitised luxury while the rest struggle in polluted, violent slums like Pacifica or Watson. One of Cyberpunk's main overreaching themes is late-stage capitalism, where private entities supersede the state, leading to extreme class inequality and the loss of individual autonomy. Extreme wealth disparity, spatial segregation and the illusion of meritocracy. In a broken system, it's anti-capitalism and anti-establishment to its very bones. It's not cyber-conservative or cyber-communist, it's cyberpunk. And you'll never see anyone complaining about how Cyberpunk's narrative would have been better if not for all the unnecessary political messaging, because the political message is tasteful, impactful, and well implemented. It's a theme, an engrossing, believable, relevant, and relentlessly captivating theme. Red Dead Redemption 2. Another universally praised modern masterpiece in the eyes of so many concerning narratives, themes, visuals and technology. Red Dead Redemption 2 is not explicitly pro-capitalism, but for the sake of this video, I'd like to try and argue it can be interpreted as reinforcing capitalist ideas. It's probably more accurate to argue that the game depicts the rise of capitalism critically, but doesn't entirely reject it. The game's narrative presents the rise of an industrial capitalism as an unstoppable force, visually representing the Wild West is being tamed piece by piece with railroads, with banks, with corporations and federal law enforcement. Dutch and his anti-establishment dreams are increasingly portrayed as delusional or doomed.
There's going to be a lot of folks dead in this room before it's done.
While characters like John Marston eventually conform to the new order, becoming a homesteader, a taxpayer, and practically wage labourer, a rancher, working class. That said, the game is more accurately described as a tragic meditation on the costs of modernisation and the loss of freedom under capitalism, more melancholic than anything else. It presents a complex, often contradictory narrative that critiques yet reaffirms certain capitalist values, especially around individualism and earning your place. This is a fascinating topic for me. The situation our gang of reprobates find themselves in is very simple, but it breeds complexity through the character motivations and challenges faced being based in reality, and allows for different viewpoints to be formed, independent of what's happening in front of you, the player. In other words, it's thought-provoking. There is no clear-cut good guys or bad guys. Nothing is black and white. Bad things happen to good people and vice versa. When you present the player with a likeable character that's done terrible things and then have them struck by tragedy and existential crisis, you're aiming not only to invoke an emotional reaction in the player, but to leave them perplexed about how they feel and why they feel how they feel. It's a method of storytelling that encourages discussion, debate, and promotes critical thinking. This, however, is only the tip of the iceberg for these two AAA gaming behemoths. The themes on display are deeply rooted in the world building and character design, and that's what elevates gaming to a higher level as an art form. For me personally, stories have always been used to propagate the message of the writer, be it socially, politically motivated or otherwise, but to have your story be interactive, open-ended and unbound by the linear structures of certain framing and timing, and still have strong thematic undertones, is beyond impressive, and a big reason why I love the medium so much. But this can't always be the case. However, when I tried to play a title I had really high expectations for from a studio I love, Avowed by Obsidian, I was just irritated to be pulled out of the experience by some writing that just felt lazy. When you first crash land on a tropical prison island, you are met with a daring young woman who wants to help you escape. She's very capable, she's very competent. Upon arriving at your destination, a nearby town, after escaping the island, you're greeted by a very stoic, well put together, strong, capable woman who is captain of the guard. On my travels, I then encountered 3 grave robbers. The strong, competent, put together leader of the group was a woman, and the big, muscly man of the group was a blundering, cowardly idiot. And when I asked him to leave, he did so and cried for his mother.
I should have listened to Ma.
The main quest line then leads me to rescue some sort of aristocrat from a cave. It's a man. He's an absolute coward whose incompetence got a dozen guards killed, and he talks at you like a self-important, patronising snob.
My saviour.
Okay, whatever. I then meet 2 threatening, intimidating highwaymen on a bridge into the main city. Both women.
At least you can die knowing it wasn't personal.
I am shot upon entering the city, and my life is saved by a woman. I started to notice a pattern. Every competent character I came across and encountered was a woman. And the few men I did meet, outside of Kai for the most part, were bumbling, cowardly, pathetic or entitled. And it got me thinking, is this deliberate? Is this just a coincidence, or is it trying to make a point, but doing so at the expense of balance within the world building? Which is why we play these games. I love Obsidian games. Fallout New Vegas, Outer Worlds, Pentiment, even Pillars of Eternity. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan, and above all else, I am well aware of the spark that glints away in my wife's eye whenever she's introduced to a strong woman she can on some level relate to in popular media. I am the target audience, not only for the game, but I fully support the message it's trying to convey here. I want to see women represented in games, but I want to see it done well. Triss, Yennefer and Ciri, to name just a few from the Witcher series. Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate 3, hell, even Aela the Huntress or High Queen Elisif of Skyrim. These are all fantastic, relatable representations of women in fantasy. Because just like the people consuming the media, these characters are flawed. They make mistakes. They're embedded in the worlds they inhabit, not tacked on like an afterthought. Noticing this made me pause, not because strong female characters don't belong in fantasy, but because the way it was implemented here just felt unbalanced and lazy in a way that stripped my immersion from the experience. Was this intentional commentary, just coincidence, or lazy writing, trying to score points without adding any depth? I don't mind ideology in games, I just want it to be embedded in the world and making use of the art form you're creating. I will come back to Avowed and try again now my expectations are set and I know exactly what the game is. I'll try to see it from a different point of view and I'll roll with it. I don't begrudge the game for having women in it, but the correlation between competence and gender serves to prove a point that I wanted to make. If you take an ideology you hold and attempt to shove it down people's throats, you're only going to breed resentment and division, especially if you're in a creative industry. Instead, question yourself, your own ideals, what led you there, and why you're passionate about it. Then give people the chance to disagree with you and take an interest in their reasoning, no matter how small-minded, misinformed, misled, or out of touch you think they might be. There's no wrong way to engage with a political idea, but there's always a right way to treat the person behind it, with curiosity and respect. If you want to change someone's mind, first let them speak, then show them why you believe what you believe. Not with anger, but with understanding. Debate should be a bridge, not a battlefield. I desperately want this to be a thought-provoking and constructive contribution to a space that I feel often leads towards outrage or oversimplification. I just hope this video can take the right steps towards doing that. I hope it makes you think, and more than anything, I hope it makes you want to listen. I've been Gaming Limbo. I hope you have a good week. I hope you have a good weekend. Thanks for listening. We're a small channel. I hope you found this relaxing and informative. If you appreciated anything I've said here, please consider subscribing and liking it. It'll go a long way for me. You know, we're just starting out. Yeah, more ideas to come. Thank you so much if you've made it this far. It means the world to me. Leave a comment. I will respond to every single one of them. Thank you. Bye.
Shall I deal with them?
Allow me.